For some, athletics can mean so much more than just exercise and competition.
ESPN 760's Evan Cohen has the inspiring story of the lengths one young lady went to get back on the field.
On April 14, 2009, then a sophomore at Delray's American Heritage High School, Claire Dunlap went with her friends to watch the baseball team play a game at West Boca High. Her Stallion softball team would take the same field the next day, a day that almost 2 years later she does not remember.
We were all sitting in a huddle, and all of a sudden I collapsed backwards, and I guess it kind of sounded like I was like snorting, like trying to, I guess it sounded like a pig, but I was trying to get air in. And I started turning blue and like convulsing, and they knew something was wrong, so they called my mom over, and my mom freaked out.
I dropped my purse, I dropped my phone, and I ran out there, and she was on the ground, and it looked like she was having a seizure.
But it wasn't a seizure. Claire had suffered sudden cardiac arrest, the leading cause of death in the United States. She spent 3 days in a coma, and doctors warned Claire's family that even if she made it out of the hospital alive, brain damage was a distinct possibility.
You just want your child back, and whole, of course, but yeah, you just want your child back and to wake up.
Miraculously, Claire left the hospital after 11 days with no permanent damage, but her struggle for a return to normalcy was just beginning. Claire was determined to get back to what she loved the most, playing sports. But a meeting with a doctor in Miami added even more roadblocks to her journey.
He's like, oh no, you can't play sports with this. You're not going to be able to play in college with this. Like, he pretty much, and right then I just started crying hysterically because I knew, like, oh my gosh, this could be the end of my career. I could have no future in softball.
That was the first time she lost it and said, I'd rather die than have this thing put in me and not play sports. I could understand where she was coming from because it was part of who Claire was.
What was a mother to do? Patty Dunlap scoured the country looking for a doctor that would allow her daughter to resume her athletic career. Finally, she found one in Tampa who believed that playing sports would not increase the chances of another heart attack.
I wanted to make her happy, but at the same time I'm realizing if I do this and something happens, I could lose her all over again.
Finally, the letter came. American Heritage had approved the doctor's orders, and Claire would resume her athletic career, with limitations. She was not allowed to play front row in volleyball, and when softball rolls around this spring, the now senior will only be permitted to play right and left field, and not run the bases. Still, it was an amazing accomplishment.
It like hit me really hard, like, oh my gosh, like I did this. I'm back on the field, and I worked hard for this.
And now, as they celebrate their second Thanksgiving together since Claire's collapse, the Dunlaps take nothing for granted.
Every holiday is that much more special to us because of what happened to Claire. We're always extremely thankful that she's here and with us.
Most people who go into sudden cardiac arrest die. It's the #1 killer in America, and I was one of the lucky ones who got saved. And so I'm thankful every day for everything I have.
Evan Cohen for ESPN 760 on WPTV News Channel 5.